Welcome back to Unlimited Recaps. Today we'll be diving into a horror comedy film from 2014 titled 13 Sins. The movie kicks off in Perth, Australia, where Professor Edgar Solomon is giving a speech at a formal gathering. He starts reciting a seemingly innocent children's poem about a rabbit and a bear. However, as the poem takes an unsettling turn, the audience becomes visibly uncomfortable. A woman next to him, just as shocked as the crowd, intervenes. But before anyone can react, Edgar unexpectedly apologizes and, to everyone's horror, cuts off one of her fingers with a knife. Her agonized screams send the guests into a panic, and they scatter. Meanwhile, Edgar calmly wraps the severed finger in a tissue. Security steps in and orders him to surrender, but when Edgar refuses, he is shot. With his dying breath, Edgar tries to reach his phone but fails. The scene shifts to New Orleans, Louisiana, where we meet Elliot Brindle, a salesman facing mounting pressures. Elliot and his fiancée are expecting their first child, and their wedding is just days away. But at this critical moment, Elliot is abruptly fired. His boss claims he's too empathetic for sales, a quality that doesn't pay the bills. Elliot returns home, where he takes care of his younger brother Michael, who has a mental disability. Elliot pays $1,200 monthly for Michael's outpatient care, a responsibility that weighs heavily on him. With no job, Michael now faces the terrifying possibility of being sent to an institution he dreads. Desperate, Elliot visits his abusive and racist father Samson for help, but things go from bad to worse when Samson reveals he's lost his retirement funds and plans to move in with Elliot. Later that night, Elliot sits in his car, troubled and exhausted. A fly buzzes around, adding to his frustration. Suddenly, his phone rings. The caller claims Elliot has been selected for a unique game show that promises a chance to win life-changing money. Skeptical, Elliot assumes it's a scam and prepares to hang up. But then the caller starts rattling off unsettlingly accurate details about Elliot's life, his family, his struggles, even his mother's tragic car accident. The final shock comes when the caller mentions the fly buzzing in his car. Intrigued and unnerved, Elliot stays on the line. The caller's first challenge is simple: kill the fly, and $1,000 will be deposited into his bank account. Doubting the legitimacy but desperate for cash, Elliot swats the fly. Moments later, a notification confirms the money has been transferred. Stunned, Elliot jumps out of his car, scanning the area for hidden cameras or spies. But he's alone. The caller doesn't stop there. He offers Elliot $3,622 to eat the dead fly. Torn between skepticism and his financial needs, Elliot rushes home to verify the $1,000 in his account. It's real. Driven by desperation and curiosity, he reluctantly eats the fly. Moments later, his phone rings again, congratulating him for completing the second challenge. The money is transferred instantly. Now completely bewildered, Elliot asks the pressing question: is someone watching him, even in his own home? The mysterious voice on the phone assures Elliot that he can regain his privacy if he wishes, but doing so will immediately disqualify him from the game. The voice then lays out the rules. Elliot must complete a total of 13 challenges, each offering increasingly large cash rewards. However, failure to complete a challenge, interference with the game, or revealing its existence to anyone will reveal in the loss of all winnings, even those already earned. Having already completed 2 challenges, Elliot has 11 left. To confirm his participation, the voice instructs him to say, "I will dance with the golden toad." Hesitant but desperate, Elliot complies, officially becoming a contestant. The next day, Elliot is at a park with his fiancée, Shelby, and her parents, anxiously waiting for the next call. When it finally comes, the voice announces the third challenge: make a child cry. For $5,000. Elliot excuses himself and searches for a target. He spots a little girl running towards him, providing the perfect opportunity. With a straight face, He tells her that her parents plan to abandon her at an orphanage. The girl bursts into tears and runs back to her parents, and Elliot receives the prize money. As the parents yell insults at him, he quickly leaves the park with Shelby. Later, they head to a church to pick up Elliot's father. While there, Elliot receives another call. For his fourth challenge, he must burn a nativity scene handcrafted by blind children. Seizing a moment when no one is looking, he drags the display outside and sets it on fire. However, the flames spread quickly, endangering the church. Elliot pulls the fire alarm before fleeing with his family. Later, his account is credited with $10,000. Soon after, Elliot receives his fifth challenge: follow a homeless man by the roadside. Meanwhile, at the police station, the little girl's parents are filing a report about the park incident. Coincidentally, the homeless man also arrives to report that someone stole his belongings. When the police put together a sketch of the suspect, they realize the same person is responsible for troubling the girl, burning the church, and stealing the man's clothes: Elliot. For the sixth challenge, Elliot is instructed to take a man from a specific apartment out for coffee. It seems easy, but when Elliot enters the apartment, he discovers the man dead in the bathtub. Panicked but determined, Elliot sprays air freshener over the corpse, dresses it up, and places it in a wheelbarrow. He wheels the body to a nearby diner, props it up at a table, and orders coffee. The waitress, distracted and unimpressed by the corpse's hat-covered face, doesn't suspect anything. Pressed for time, Elliot becomes frustrated with the slow service. To meet his deadline, he snatches a cup of coffee from a group of police officers dining nearby. This completes the challenge, but it draws the officers' attention. They confront him, but Elliot notices they've been drinking alcohol on duty and calls them out, creating a diversion. Amid the chaos, he escapes, earning a call from the initiator, who is impressed by his quick thinking. The voice promotes Elliot directly to the eighth challenge, but warns him of a critical mistake. He left his library card in the diner. The police will inevitably link the card to him, but the voice promises that completing all challenges will guarantee his freedom. With no other option, Elliot doubles down on finishing the game. A van arrives to pick him up, taking him to an undisclosed location for his next mission. Back at the diner, the police discover the corpse and begin investigating. Detective Chilcote learns from the waitress that a mysterious man had been asking about Elliot earlier. Chilcote follows the man to a trailer filled with research about the game. The detective uncovers its dark origins and the grim fates of past participants, though the identity of the game's initiator remains unknown. Meanwhile, Elliot is brought to a room where he comes face to face with John, his high school bully. Elliot's next challenge is a shocking one. He must cut off John's arm. Surprisingly, John isn't resisting. He's willingly offering his arm for money. When Elliot hesitates, John taunts him by bringing up all the bullying he subjected Elliot to in high school. Fueled by anger and the need to complete the challenge, Elliot does it. Afterward, he drives John to the hospital and earns a staggering $250,000. Later, Elliot heads to his rehearsal dinner for the wedding, but the next challenge takes a bizarre turn. He's instructed to ruin the event in front of everyone and urinate in one of the floral arrangements. Coincidentally, the police show up looking for Michael, accusing him of public nudity. Seeing this as an opportunity, Elliot causes a scene, breaking plates and peeing on the flowers. While Shelby believes he's doing it to help Michael, Elliot is actually fulfilling his challenge. He escapes the venue, but is soon instructed to surrender himself as part of the next task. Reluctantly, Elliot turns himself in and is arrested. At the police station, he's interrogated about his bizarre actions throughout the day. Things take a strange turn when he's accused of crimes he didn't commit, leading him to realize there's another player in the game. Seizing a moment when no one is watching, Elliot breaks a piece of his chair, takes a police officer hostage, and escapes by jumping out of a window, landing in a dumpster. During the chaos, he loses his phone, cutting off communication with the initiator. Wandering aimlessly, Elliot spots a homeless woman and assumes she's connected to the game. She leads him to a nearby trailer where his next mission awaits. Meanwhile, Detective Chilcote locates Vogler, a conspiracy theorist whose wife died playing the same game. Vogler has been investigating the initiator, but hasn't uncovered their identity. Back in the trailer, Elliot's next challenge seems harmless. Hang a string with a clothes hanger. But he soon realizes the string stretches across the road, directly in the path of a group of kids on bikes. Horrified, Elliot removes the string, refusing to kill for the game. However, the second player quickly ties a new string, leading to a gruesome scene as the kids are decapitated. Distraught, Elliot decides to quit the game and chases after the second player. The chase leads to a phone call from the initiator, who reveals the final challenge: Elliot must kill a family member. Ignoring the call, Elliot returns home only to find the second player's van parked outside. Inside, he discovers his father in the living room and Michael in the bathroom. It dawns on him. Michael is the second player. Michael, still determined to win, is ready to kill their father. To their shock, their father confesses he had played the game years ago and won by killing their mother. Stunned, Elliot prepares to kill him, but their father takes matters into his own hands, slitting his throat to prevent either of them from winning. As Elliot tries to process the situation, Michael turns on him, desperate to win the game. In the struggle, Elliot accidentally shoots Michael. Even then, Michael refuses to give up, stabbing Elliot in a final act of defiance before succumbing to his wounds. With all 13 challenges completed, Elliot limps away from the house, only to find Detective Chilcote watching him. It's revealed that Chilcote is working for the game. He murders Vogler, who had gotten too close to uncovering the truth, and returns to the house to destroy the evidence by burning the bodies. Before he can, Elliot returns and shoots Chilcote, ending the chaos. In the final scene, Elliot calls Shelby, reassuring her that he's okay. She mentions a strange call she received earlier that day. Someone asked her to eat a fly. Elliot freezes in shock but relaxes when she says she declined the offer. Subscribe for more videos, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.